Miller's the only guy on your offensive line that's played every game, or that's been there for every game. And when you think about that and how much they've moved around, and also think about how well they've run blocked and how well they've protected you, what can you say about the way that they've played this year as a unit?
Done a fantastic job. They've worked really hard, I can tell you that. Those guys from top to bottom. I mean, we've had a lot of people play, right? And they've all done really well for us. And you got to credit them and their work ethic. You got to credit Coach Cable and Lem big time for getting those guys ready. Because a lot of this game is mental, A lot of it is understanding, just your assignment. A lot of mistakes happen, especially on the offensive line in this league, when guys aren't sure on a call or guys aren't sure on a look. And our guys have been very sure. And, that clears some things up. So a lot of credit to those guys, coaches and players, because they've done a really, really good job.
Along those lines, you could be having a new center this week, perhaps. We don't know for sure, I guess. But how difficult is that to try to adjust to a new center?
It'll take you like 5 or 10 minutes. It's really repetition. Going through a practice on how do they step on a certain play, how do they step on this play, and I got so many years playing with Rodney that we can do that. I can do that in my sleep. With Andre, a lot of reps. In training camp this off season when we're giving Rodney his rest, rightfully earned, and things like that. And then with other guys, we're always taking snaps, with everybody. Coach, he's big on, rotating guys no matter if it's first team up, second team, doesn't matter. We're going to rotate guys, and we're going to get reps in, And so I've taken my fair share of snaps with a lot of guys and feel very comfortable with that.
So it sounds like Richie was taking some snaps today. Is that true?
He's done it before, and he did a little bit today. But we'll see. We plan on, hopefully having all of them. We'll see. Maybe they can all snap.
What did you learn about the team over the 6-game road trip?
They were a very close group. This is probably the closest group I've ever been around, including the year when we went to the playoffs. This group, it's a special group, very young, exciting group, very good. If you're talking about laying a foundation for something, a very good group to have of guys, vets, young vets and rookies included. It's going to be a good group here for a long time. There won't be as much turnover as the years keep going on. That's for sure. Because you got some guys that are going to stick and stay. That's for sure.
7 games in. Been sacked 8 times. I don't know what it was after 7 games last year, but it had to be in the 20s. I mean, do you feel? I mean, can you even remember? Do you feel much better right now than you did a year ago?
I absolutely do. And you do a really, you try your best to take care of your body, right?
Yeah.
And last year was really hard. Just for even some being my own fault, But it was tough, because the guys that are hitting me are not defensive backs. They're much bigger than me, and that's why I guess we squat and things like that. But I definitely feel different. This time, this year I feel fresh, as can be. With all the games that we've played already. But that's a credit to our offensive line. We joke around all the time. I always go around and check on them all the time, and they're sore. All these kind of things, like, how do you feel? I said, I feel great, actually. Thank you for asking. And that's all that matters to them, so it's good.
How has the protection affected what I guess you guys have been able to do as an offense, and also just you personally, how you've been able to play? I try my best every time I stand up here to be as honest and open as I can. And you have to play quarterback a different way when there's not as much time. You can't, go to the third and fourth progression. You can't drop back against the Bears, try and look off a flat defender and throw a 20-yard sail route. You can't do that kind of stuff. You have to get the ball out. You got to move faster. It's something actually I was talking to Tony Romo when he did our game. It's something that we both laughed and joked about. You can be a completely different player when you have that kind of time, to be honest with you. And you can throw different routes. You can have different schemes. You can have different game plans. You can do a lot of different stuff. And we're going to go as that offensive line goes. They are the best players on our football team by far, and we're going to go as they go. Taking a few more, I guess, deep shots in the last 2 games, it seems like. Is that a product of just knowing you're probably going to have more time just with the way the season's going?
We're just getting different coverages, to be honest. I sit here and I try and explain things to people sometimes and I get labeled with checkdowns, right? So I just don't waste my time anymore. We're getting different coverages.
The way the run game is going, do you think?
Absolutely helps, because then they have to play different coverages to fit on the run, right? And different people can play too high and fit the run different ways with safeties and corners, and they can play single high and fit it in different ways with certain different fronts and things like that. Some people like to pressure into it, when you can run the ball really well, and that opens up, huge lanes in the passing game. So when you can pass protect and run the football, you can be a very efficient offense.
I think the play action has been more effective for you guys this year as well. Is that something is a priority for you guys to sort of get that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. I think every team, when training camp starts, you finally get to put the pads on. Every coach, we're going to run the football, right? And there's some out there. I mean, I've been on teams where we tried, man, and it's tough. It's been tough years where you can't run the ball. Play actions aren't there as much, so you have to play a different kind of football, and it's harder to win that way. But if you look at the championship teams year after year, they can do one thing well, and that's rush the ball. And whether they do it a lot or not, that will depend on what the coach calls, but they can at least do it efficiently to set up those play actions.
What is the energy going to be like on Sunday, having been gone for so long?
Oh, it's going to be rowdy. I know that. I think our fans miss us, and I think we miss them. We need a home game. We need to see each other. That's for sure. We miss one another. So I can't wait to see our fans come running out that tunnel. There's nothing like it.
With the stretch coming up at home, do you guys feel like you guys are poised to make a run because you're still in the thick of things here?
Absolutely. We never have a doubt, and we know we have a good football team. We just have to put it all together. All three phases every game: be efficient, be clean, try and eliminate the penalties, all that kind of stuff, right? And if we can do that, we feel very confident we can play with anybody. But right now, we got to take care of business this week and try and get a home win against a good football team.
What have you seen, speaking of the football team you're playing this week, what have you seen from the Lions on film as you prep for Sunday?
They're very good. Again, numbers don't mean anything to me. People throw out numbers of what they're ranked and this and that. You turn the film on, you're like, no, these guys are a good defense. And you see maybe a few plays here and there where you're like, well, that skewed the numbers pretty big based on the day that they actually had, And they're very good, very talented. Have big free agent acquisitions all over the place on defense. We know what their offense can do. And so, like I said, when you turn the film on, you're like, wow, they run, they fly to the ball, they hit, they're physical, and they're going to bring it. So we better bring it too.
Two more.
You guys have a lot of turnover on the O-line and the receiver this year, and things are still going pretty good. What's that do to you? Why has that been the case?
I really think it's whenever you can get the play caller and the quarterback and as many guys on the offensive line, continuity as much as possible, you're playing the game much faster. We're able to do more. We're able to handle more on our plate. So, whereas last year we maybe didn't have the whole menu, right? We could, we were in this box. Now we're in this box. Whereas we can get to more things, and I think that's really helped us. And then you add just our versatility at the skill positions. Coach Gruden, each coach. I don't think the NFL does a good job of this anymore. Where when a coach comes in, they don't get to get the roster how they need it to fit their scheme, right? And if they don't have the players that they want to be able to do certain things, that doesn't even make sense, right? It's already broken, right? And so he came in and he's just getting guys that fit what he wants to do. Like we've talked about our tight ends, our receivers in the run game and pass game, our running backs pass game and run game, pass protection. You just get a whole bunch of guys that can fit what he wants to do. That allows us to be able to be versatile and still be able to move the ball.
Last one. Got to be growing pains getting to that stage, though. After what you guys.
We dealt with it last year, right? I mean, we watched it. I mean, it was hard. There were some plays where, I'm dropping back and I'm like, wait, what was that? Let's be honest. We're adding something like, early in the season. Oh yeah, that was it, and we'll get a completion on it. But I was like, whew, glad I remembered right before the snap. But now we're just playing football. Again, we've talked about how big the offense is, how much it is on the quarterback. Us quarterbacks were joking about it today, all the things we installed today, just how much there is every week. But when you're able to do that over a period of time, which I hope the NFL would do more with other young quarterbacks, like this organization has done for me, is give people time. Give them time under one system and just see it'll get better, right? You get people in there, it gets better. So, I think that we're starting to see the fruits of just time together.